Hi all, I'm the Red Ronin, and this is my review of Captain America: Brave New World. So, before I start, I'm going to say I watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier when it came out for the first time on Disney Plus. Most of you probably did as well, but I'm just saying that as a little indicator of why I felt the way I felt. So, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I was incredibly underwhelmed by Sam Wilson's Captain America. I preferred Bucky Barnes' run in the comic books, and I hope that Sam Wilson could have done better, especially since he's a very funny, quippy, and interesting character in the MCU. He did not handle too well on the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show. His family moments were nice, and there were some good moments of action, and John Walker was surprisingly the best part of it, even though I hated him for the first half. Does prove that he's a good actor, though. Ultimately, not the biggest fan of how he was in the show. So, when I went into this movie, I had cautious optimism. I was concerned about how this movie could have been. Anthony Mackie as Captain America could have been horrible. I wasn't a huge fan of him in Winter Soldier. I'm saying that this is going to be my final time I'm saying that. He was much better in this movie. It starts to give reason on why he is becoming Captain America. He is trying to serve as a beacon of hope, inspiration. He is giving off leadership energy. He's trying his best to be an icon when he himself is still struggling to know what it's like to be an icon in this world. He tries to give a speech to President Rawson here a few different times. He has a few different speeches, and it gives a similar iconic vibe for Captain America. Sam Wilson as Captain America improves much better. His wings and the kinetic energy vibranium, awesome, incredible. Now, it's a spoiler, but it's also on the poster, so I'm going to say it. At the end of the movie, the leader becomes the Red Hulk. They have an incredible fight at the White House, destroying most of the White House, and it's a really cool scene. Those are some good parts. I have a few flaws I'd like to say about it, though. This movie focuses more on Hulk characters and than it does on Captain America characters. Most of the characters here are not really Captain America well-known characters, which is underwhelming. The Serpent Society is wasted here. I read the 1980s, 1970s run of Mark Gruenwald's Captain America with Serpent Society. It is incredible. They don't utilize that. They are supposed to be campy. They're supposed to be like Snake-style villains with their own gimmicks. There's a girl named Diamondback who throws diamonds at people. Sidewinder is a snake person. There's a guy named Puff Adder in the group who just bulks up in size like Bane on Venom and smashes people into the ground because he's a mutant. That's his ability. But here, they try to have them as a grounded terrorist society group known as Serpent. It's not great. Giancarlo Esposito, he might have had good potential, but he was heavily wasted in the role. He could have done so much better in the MCU. Sabra. I'm not going to comment on the Israeli thing because that is a classic part of the comic character. There are some racist roots within her character since she works for Mossad, and the whole point of her character in the first few issues she has is like fighting against the Hulk, and then afterwards fighting against terrorist groups that are made off of stereotypical Middle Eastern people. It's a pretty bad comic. There are a lot of bad comics in our history like that utilize that type of thing, like Shang-Chi or Shang-Chi. Ultimately, though, she's a waste of a character. She doesn't really have much character arc. She doesn't have a character arc. She's very flat as a character, and she's not great. That's all I'm really gonna say here. Some of the plot points felt rushed, and the other plot points felt like it was way too slow. Danny Ramirez was a good Captain America, and Harrison Ford did an incredible job stepping up to the role that William Hurt did as Red Hulk. I'm glad with both of those. Ultimately, I'm going to give this movie I'll say a 7 out of 10. It's better than average. I'm going to do a Mythology Gal style standing where a 5 is average. 5 is an average movie. 0 is a horrible movie. and 10 is a peak movie. Falcon and the Winter Soldier is a 7. It's better than an average movie. It's pretty good, actually. It's not bad. You know what? I'm going to move it to a 6.5, now that I think about it a little more. There was ultimately some inconsistencies in the plot, and it just didn't feel too... It wasn't a good movie. It wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't a great movie. It's the weakest of the Captain America movies, but it's not horrible. I know I'm commenting on it a bit badly. I do feel bad about that, but I don't fully know what else to say about it. I had fun watching it in theaters. There were a lot of moments that were interesting, but there were a lot of moments where it was boring, so 6.5. Anyway, hope you have a great day, and sorry, Penny, I know you really like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Hope you had a better time watching the movie than I did.